Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to present my presentation. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nasir Ahmed. My ID is 193002105, Department of CC, Green University of Bangladesh. My presentation topic is cost classification. Now, I will discuss about the cost classification. So, what is cost classification? Classification of the term cost itself is without any significant meaning, and therefore it is always advisable to use it with an adjective or phrase such as prime, direct, indirect, fixed, variable, controllable, opportunity cost, and like a classification of cost. Here you can see the pictorial of classification of cost. They are divided into three parts according to the nature and function, according to the identifiable, and according to the behavior. And every types are divided in many parts. Now I will discuss in this presentation into details the classification of cost. The classification of cost according to the nature is material cost, labor cost, and other expenses. Wages, salaries, depreciation, utility, etc. Uh, the material cost. The cost of material used for the manufacture of a product, particular work order to or provision of a service, all raw materials are material cost. Such as example, we can see in the picture that the cloth for making a dress or wooden furniture or desk cotton in the textiles. The labor cost is defined as the total expenditure incurred from employers in order to employ workers. Labor cost is all labor expended in altering, construction, or composition of the product. And other expenses is defined money expended or cost incurred in a firm's effort to generate revenue representing cost of doing business. And the classification of cost according to function is uh, here you can see the pictorial, the functional classification, and the parts as production cost, research and development cost, selling and distribution cost, and administrative costs. A functional classification expresses that the business performs various functions for which costs are incurred. Direct cost and indirect cost. The cost is the expenses that can be completely attributed to the production or cost center in the process production of articles material and the manufacturing activity. And indirect cost, other costs such as depreciation or administrative expenses are more difficult to assign to a specific product and therefore are considered indirect cost. Classification of cost according to the behavior. The first we can see it divided into fixed cost and variable cost. The cost which does not vary but remains constant within a given period of time and range of activity is called fixed cost. Example, rent, insurance of factory, buildings, depreciation, etc. And the variable cost is the cost tend to vary with the volume of output called variable cost. Any increase in the volume of production results in the case the variable cost. Example, cost of material, cost of labor, etc. is the example of variable cost. Here you can see the pictorial, the production and nature. It divided into parts: production cost, general administrative cost, and selling and distribution costs. Direct material and direct labor, that's prime cost, and factorial overheads. It's indirect material, direct material, rent, utility cost, repairs, depreciation. This is indirect cost, and general administrative costs are material, labor, and other expenses that is reported in the income statement. And selling and distribution costs, fixed or variable, these are material, labor, wages, and salaries. This reported in income statement. Now, the last of all, I'll discuss about the production cost. The cost of inventory will be reported in the balance sheet. The categories of inventory are as follows. Number one is raw material, and number two is work in progress, and number three is finished goods. The cost of product will be reported as work in progress is person. The cost of finished goods will be reported as finished goods in balance sheet. Uh, Thank you, sir, for being with me. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. Uh, Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.